Hello everybody, I'm Hannah and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about every single book that I plan to read in the month of August. Usually when I'm choosing TBRs, I use my trusty little TBR jar, and I said usually as if I'm going to be doing something different today, which is not the case because we are still using my TBR jar. I have been reading, I would say like around 15 plus books a month this year, which I really haven't in July. I think I'm at like 10 books right now and we're almost done with the month, so not gonna make it that high probably, but typically on my TBR, I'll actually put about 6 books. That just gives me some flexibility for reading what I actually want to, but really prioritizing these 6 books that I pick. Ask me how that's been going recently. Not well. I've been doing a lot of immersion tandem reading with both listening to audios and reading physical books. And so some of the books that I've been putting on my TBR, I don't have the audio available. I mostly use Libby, so I can rent the audiobooks through my library for free. And if they're not available, they're not gonna get read. So that's been an issue. Here on my TBR cart, this is not the sum total of my TBR at all. I have over 600 books on my TBR, including the shelves you see behind you. So basically what I pull for my TBR cart is just books that I'm particularly interested in, excited about, that I already have Libby holds on, or that are supposed to be popping up in the next 3-4 weeks so that I have time to hopefully get them and then read them from there. Obviously, if that doesn't work, it's not the end of the world either. I'll still read whatever I want to read. So we're gonna pick our first prompt. Let's go. I did also put a couple of prompts back in here that I've used in previous months, but I did not update beyond that. But there's a ton of prompts in here, so don't worry, there's options. All right, first one, read a book set in the past. The issue here is that there's a lot of fantasy books, so I guess they're like technically set in the past, but not really because they're in different worlds. I don't even think we have like historical fiction on here this round. So I guess I could go with a contemporary that came out a while ago, because technically speaking, that would be in the past, which would give us Icebreaker, Mixed Signals, The Sweet Spot, The Clover Chapel, This Summer Will Be Different, All Roads Lead Here. And out of all of those, I think The Clover Chapel is speaking to me the most. This is by Devney Perry. This is the second in a series. The first one is the Coppersmith Farmhouse. I believe this is the first series that she ever wrote, but I could be wrong about that. And to be honest, I did not love book 1. I still ended up giving it like 4 stars, I think. Like, it was fine. It just wasn't an all-time favorite, mostly because I hated the MMC. So I'm excited to see if this one is going to be better than that. This cover is like so blurry. This is, I think, one of her indie covers, but like, look at it up close. You can barely like read those words clearly. Same with the cover. So that's interesting. Anyway, so we'll do that. Book 1 will be The Clover Chapel by Devney Perry. Next pick, I'm gonna kind of reach way down in here for a prompt, hopefully one I have not done previously. Read a book that matches the current season. So it is the end of July right now when I'm filming this. We are very much in the throes of summer. A lot of these seem like good summer books to me, but I'm especially drawn towards The Sweet Spot, which I believe is like a camping book. It doesn't really say on the back whether it's summer or not, but I think that gives summer vibes. And then the other one that I thought of is The Shampoo Effect by Jenny Jackson. This one's relatively new. Jenny Jackson wrote Pineapple Street, which is one of my favorite books of all time. This says summer, right? The cover. I don't think it's really like season specific, honestly, so maybe I don't care. Between the two of these, I think I might go for The Sweet Spot. Trish Dollar, I feel like, is not super well known as an author, but she did write Float Plan, which is one of my favorite romances. I absolutely loved it, so I'm excited to see if I like this one just as much. This one obviously I'm very excited for as well, but I feel like this one probably fits the prompt better. So we're gonna go with The Sweet Spot by Trish Dollar. Third pick. Really like digging in. This one is read a book with 2 words in the title. Obviously the first one I saw is Red City up here. So we've got Red City, Long Live, Mixed Signals, oh, Assassin's Quest, Verity Guild. I think Hemlock and Silver technically counts as 2 words because it's just an ampersand instead of the word and. But we have other options, so I don't even need to get into that distinction today. Immortal Longings. Same thing with Smoke and Scar with the ampersand, and Lady Tremaine. So that's a lot of options. I think with all of those, I kind of want Long Live because it was on my July TBR and I don't think I'm gonna get to it this month. I might, but I don't think so. And it's one of the last books This and Quicksilver are the last books on my 26 and 2026 list, so I think that's what we're gonna go with. This is Long Live by V.B. Lacey. We're gonna pick that for pick a book with 2 words in the title. Number 4. Digging in there again, like we're like way at the bottom here. Ah, well, I got a little over exuberant there. Okay, read a book with the in the title. Dawn of the Firebird, The Poet Empress, In the Veins of Drowning, The Atlas 6, The Shampoo Effect, The Winged Game. Interesting. So I've been feeling very positively about The Poet Empress. I feel like I've been getting a lot of like press about it all over my Bookstagram. So maybe that's one that we go with. This is the Owl Crate edition. Look at how pretty those red spreads are. Power is such a wicked thing. I've heard it's supposed to be like adult the selection, essentially. She offers herself as a concubine to the cruel, dissolute heir of the blood-gutted Azalea house. Well, I'm willing to try it, right? So I still am very intrigued by this. So we're gonna go with this one, The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. And that is for read a book with the in the title. That's 4 books. So we're on to final 2, putting Red City in the Poet Empress's slot because there's room. Number 5, read a book with an epilogue. We're gonna have to go through all of these books to see which ones have epilogues, or maybe we could start with a few that I definitely want on my TBR and see if they do. So I feel like I've been supposed to read To Cage a Wild Bird for like a long time. I think that's also on my July TBR. No epilogue there. Assassin's Quest might have an epilogue because it's the final book in a trilogy, but it's also the first trilogy out of like multiple different sub-series in the realm of the Elderlings, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. No epilogue. Icebreaker is also on my July TBR, but I like missed, well, I don't know what I did really, but I had a hold on it for Libby. Oh, that's what happened. I was on my actual library's like website to put physical holds on a couple of books, and I went through and like canceled some of the physical book holds that I had from like, it's been like many months and I don't need those holds anymore, but I forgot about them because they don't show up on Libby. The only way to see them is on the library's website. And so I deleted all of those, and I deleted Icebreaker thinking that it was a physical hold, but it was my Libby audiobook hold. Then I got off the list for that, and now I'm back on it, but it's gonna take like 2 months. That's probably not in our future. Mixed Signals probably also doesn't have an epilogue because it's the 3rd in the series, but it's a standalone, so maybe. Bonus chapter, not an epilogue. Epilogue. Proof. So Mixed Signals is an option. I said I was gonna look at ones that I'm like already interested in, and then I did not do that. So let's check No Matter What by Care of a Stone. I love a Care of a Stone book, and I think she does usually have epilogues. Let's try This Summer Will Be Different. I feel like that would be a good August book. Reader's Guide, acknowledgements. Not spoiling yourself while checking for epilogues takes a bit. That one has an epilogue. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do this with every single book. Let's do This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I've been meaning to catch up on my like Carly Fortune books for a while, so this will be good. This Summer Will Be Different is going to be for read a book with an epilogue. And now we're up on our last prompt of this TBR. Read a book with over 400 pages. I feel like most books that I read have over 400 pages, so this shouldn't be hard to find. I definitely know Assassin's Quest is over 400 pages because I think it's more in the like 600 to 700. Nope, this book has 854 pages. So that definitely fits the bill. I should have known because the audiobook for this one is I think like close to like 40 hours. Does No Matter What have over? No. I don't remember what my status with To Cage a Wild Bird is. I know it's been on my TBR for so many times. Over 400. This is 395. Perfect. Verity Guild looks thick. The end for now at 411. We have a taker who's not literally double that. Dawn of the Firebird. This book is so pretty. It's the Fairy Loot version, so of course it is. Ooh, this has a whole glossary in the back. I love a glossary, 460 pages. So I think actually I want Verity Guild or Dawn of the Firebird. This is like not a good way to decide this, but I like these spreads better. So we're gonna go with Dawn of the Firebird. I don't know anything about this book. Have heard good things. The discarded daughter of an emperor, Camilla, I think. Zarzad is raised with her mother's nomadic tribe until a violent raid ends her peaceful life. Amid the chaos of death, the heavenly magic of heavenly magic of Nur awakens within her. So she got Nur in her. Like, I should not be filming this right now. Okay, granting her the power to wield a cosmic light. Camilla suddenly goes from outsider to weapon, finally accepted into her father's court. But tragedy strikes again, and when her clansmen are defeated by a rival empire, Kamala vows lasting vengeance as she escapes. Hiding her identity, Kamala infiltrates the enemy's army academy. She studies Jinn magic and martial arts from cutthroat mystic monks in a bid to bring down an empire from within. Through her studies, Kamala begins to question her father's teachings of war and rule. With war escalating across kingdoms and a twisted darkness spread within her, Kamala is torn between two impossible choices, revenge or freedom. I'm not gonna lie, like as soon as the magic was called Nur, I was a little bit out. I love like a military academy or any kind of like boarding school, but I really hate any kind of like religious elements in fiction books. Usually there's nothing wrong with them, I just never like those parts. This should be an interesting one because there's a lot of stuff that it sounds like I'll like and a lot of things that I'm already like eye rolling over. Anyway, this is Dawn of the Firebird by Sarah Mughal Rana, and that is a book with over 400 pages. So let's do a little review here, and then we will have chosen our entire August TBR. So first up, we've got The Clover Chapel for choose a book set in the past. It's kind of a cop-out because I didn't have any history books on my cart this month. We've got The Sweet Spot for choose a book that takes place during the season you're currently in, which is summer, hot outside. This looks camping. Next, we've got choose a book with 2 words in the title. We picked Long Live by Vivi Lacey. Next, we've got pick a book with the in the title. We picked The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. Then we got choose a book with an epilogue. We picked This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. And last but not least, we picked read a book with over 400 pages. We picked Dawn of the Firebird by Sarah Mughal Rana. And that is everything on my August TBR. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.